my partner just didn't really want to be around me. I mean, that's sort of
baby girl.
that was one of the best things that I learned from that period of my life, and also that comes with the divorce, is that I was not the narrative I had told myself.
And how are you not an alcoholic? Like, I would have just taken the wine and gone to bed and just become an alcoholic.
Just rock
but you
yourself.
made it beautiful. Like, what's that about?
Hi, welcome back to the Big D with me, Buzzy Randall, and
Hey, Jewel.
and what a week it's been. What have you been up to?
Lots of running around. I've been a bit sniffly and tired, but it is very exciting. Christmas is coming. How are you feeling about your first divorced Christmas, Buzzy?
Well, it's true. Big news for this week. We got our Christmas tree up,
Yes.
and the house is feeling very festive. It's not my first Christmas, so I think that first one is the worst,
but it's the first
isn't
proper.
It's the first one divorced.
Yes.
So that feels exciting.
Are you ready for Christmas, my love?
No, not at all. I have been really busy this year, and my son did say to me on the way to school, "Mummy, it's nearly Christmas. Where's the tree?" And normally I go so early with the tree, but actually with the co-parenting, I haven't had him on the weekend.
Yeah.
So we're going to go this evening. After
make
this,
it magical.
Magical.
Well, let me introduce you. This week we have the very effervescent and bubbly pleasure guest, Libby Brodie.
Yay,
Welcome.
Welcome to the
Thank you
Big
for having
D.
me. A pleasure guest, by the way. That sounds somewhat naughty, but I'm up for it.
You are the epitome of reinvention. And not only did you do it in lockdown, which I can't wait to hear about, but you moved from film and theatre and made divorce and lockdown totally legitimate with wine.
Yes.
Let's start there.
Well, firstly, thank you so much for having me. I absolutely adore the reframe that's going on around this whole topic of reinvention, isn't it, really? So, yes, my life has not worked out as I thought it was going to, but I think that actually happens to most people, and we just need to embrace that a bit more. It does not go to plan. So I was a theatre producer and a film producer, and things were going quite well. I'd bought a house with a gigantic mortgage, and I had a 1-year-old, and I was married, though that what I would say was not going quite as well. And in lockdown, all my shows were cancelled overnight. Just everything, international, in the UK, in London, everything folded overnight. I lost all my investors' money. I had no other income. We had no other income coming in at that point.
Universal credit.
Well, it was.
The guy Universal Credit called me and I said, "I'm just about to go on this morning. I think it's going to be okay." And they're like, "Are you sure?" I was like, "Literally, turn on the TV." That's how close I was, and I've never that middle class shame of like, "Are you fucking kidding me?"
I think I was very fortunate that I got 2 government grants because my producing career was going quite well, and still quite new, I guess, a younger company they wanted to support. So that I was very fortunate. I got those grants, but obviously you are just stuck in the house. So I had this giant mortgage. I had a 1-year-old. Everything had folded, lost all the money. What do I do? There was really only one other thing I knew about, and that was wine. I knew I liked to drink. So like many people in lockdown, I took to drink, but I monetized it. So I'd always been interested in wine, reading a bit about it, speaking to sommeliers. And with that extra time that I had, I actually did my WSET levels 1, 2, and 3.
So like sommelier.
Well, I would love to be a sommelier. Well, actually, I wouldn't. I'd be terrible at it, but I am.
It's a word no one knows how to say.
Although I would love to be an excellent sommelier, I'm very clumsy.
Okay.
And part of being a sommelier is being able to serve wine elegantly. You pour it, you open it, you pour it, you have that precision. I don't. I can drink it really well. I can talk about it,
But it's
all
all
day
that
long.
theatre of it.
I'm not elegant in that way. So I did my levels 1, 2, 3, and I got distinction across them all, which is in 6 months, which is quite apparently
Top of the class. I
unusual.
love that.
Like total nerd. All those decades of drinking paid off finally. And I went to launch my own company, my consultancy, and I thought that I would just be background, because producers are background with a business side of showbiz. So it's the logistics and the contract and a bit of creativity.
It's like a property developer.
Yes,
That's how I describe, because my ex-husband is director and I produced, and it's like being a proper. You oversee everything. You have a vision. You put everything together.
Yes,
That's
it's
how I think
that's
people
it.
understand it.
I used to think of it more as like God. But
Yes.
yeah, no,
Yes.
property developer
Yes.
also works really
Yeah,
well.
you pick the land
Let's
and the
not-
styles, and you get the interior design, and you're like, I want a Georgian mansion over there. Make it happen.
Yes, yeah, and I'll find the money somehow.
Yeah.
But so I thought I was going to be sort of a wine delivery person, and
What, you thought you'd just be like a posh Ocado?
yeah,
Okay.
exactly, for events.
Yeah.
But the guy who did my website for my consultancy said, you need to write a blog. And I said, I've never written anything in my life, but sure.
Oh.
And then that ended up getting picked up by City AM, and I was made their columnist. And at the same
I'm
time,
so proud of you.
thank you. I can, and what's so lovely, this is another thing about reinventing yourself and learning new things about yourself. I never knew I could write.
Yeah.
It took me until I was basically in my late 30s, early 40s to find out that I had a skill that now I get paid to do and travel around the world doing.
Because some random bloke who did your.
My website said,
It's always like, because a
"Sure, it's good."
random was like, you better write something to make this
So
sexier.
occasionally it's worth listening to men.
Yes.
Now, as you know, this is a podcast about divorce.
Mm.
In the background, there was the breakdown of the marriage.
Yeah.
At what point was this before the reinvention?
I think it all beautifully coincided. It's like as if my whole life had to shatter
Yeah.
to sort of rise from the ashes like a phoenix. I think that I am someone who naturally just gets on and does stuff. I don't tend to dwell too much. I'm
Mhm.
like, okay, that hasn't worked. All right, next, right, we'll just carry on.
You're
we'll
a
carry on.
doer.
I'm definitely a doer. And so when the marriage wasn't working, I went straight into, okay, all right, we'll do counselling, we'll get some date nights in, we'll sort it this way and we'll sort it that way. And actually, the counselling was fantastic for learning a bit better how to communicate. It didn't save the marriage. I think actually what it highlighted was the marriage was not going to be saved.
It was not salvageable.
But in a way that helped. It all
Yeah.
happened quite swiftly and smoothly.
Can I ask,
Yeah.
as you were reinventing yourself, because often children put a pressure
Mm-hmm.
in that sometimes you are the huge cheerleader and caretaker of your partner, and then when a real baby comes along, you're like, "Could you get your shit together, please?" Was it that kind of situation?
I do think that didn't help matters. I know a lot of people who, when they have children, they say it's sort of the worst time for them as a couple.
Yeah.
Because it is the first time
You need
that
partnership.
you need that partnership and you need the teamwork. It's also, I think, the first time that you don't compromise because
Yes.
both of you are so passionate about thinking this is right for your child.
Yes.
If it's a child, neither of you want to back down because you're like,
Yes.
no, this is what we should be doing.
And the mama bear comes
Yeah.
out.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
I mean,
very
Atty and I have both been through difficult endings to our marriages. I'm just so in awe of how brave and courageous you must have been to have found yourself in lockdown with that business situation of yours that you had with
Just
with
losing everything
COVID,
overnight.
your marriage breaking down, and then in the background you're like, park it, I'm off, new direction.
Yes, it was very much like, let's just get on with it and I just need to deal with this. Now, my partner just didn't really want to be around me. I mean, that's sort of,
Oh,
that's,
baby girl.
that was just kind of it. So we were in lockdown. I think I went 8 months without him having a meal with me. So I was sort of locked
In
in
the
this
house?
Yeah. He just didn't really want to be around me. And that
Can
was,
I just ask, how the fuck does that work when the whole world is on shutdown and you can't even? Was this the scary days where you have like 45 minutes you can walk around the block? That was it. The scary beginning time.
yeah, it was that. Well, it was the whole time really. We did the
Oh,
whole
don't.
lockdown together.
So how did you not
Um,
talk to him?
Well,
just
we
avoided-
tried. We did counselling.
Was the
to
house
talk-
big enough?
Yeah. We'd moved to that big house because I was doing
Yeah.
so well. Damn
Yeah.
it! I mean, there was a pro to it.
You had a wing
It
that
wasn't.
you
We
could.
had been moved from a flat, so thank God.
You had
that was
wings that you
So-
could go
But it
to.
was. I was really desperate for connection. I
Yeah.
thrive off connection, and it was so strange because for me, my whole life has been about theatre producing. My parents were actors. My brother's an actor director. I was in the
It's
theatre.
family. It's
And connection and people and parties and all of that was suddenly gone. I was just by myself essentially with this 1-year-old child who, they're lovely, but they're not great conversationalists.
No.
You're not, it's not,
They
you're not
need-
having
they need
cocktails
your-
at lunch with a
Yeah, you're
1-year-old.
giving. You're
Yeah.
giving and watching Paw Patrol.
Yeah, it's that's
Like,
where you're going.
fucking kill me.
Paw Patrol, that's what you're
Paw
doing.
Patrol.
But
I hated all that
I
stuff.
was
So
a Peppa Pig
it
girl.
was, oh no, I
Peppa
can't
Pig.
bear Peppa Pig.
I like Peppa Pig because I thought it was
Oh,
funny.
that is
I'm a
one
bit of an
precocious little
expert.
pig.
You
I'm a
are
bit of
quite
an
Mrs.
expert.
Rabbit by the sounds of
Am I
things.
Mrs. Rabbit? I don't know.
You,
Is that the one that flies?
she
the
does
plane?
everything.
Yeah, no,
She's the one that does
that
everything.
is me. Yes, I'm an everything
Oh.
person. I will just get it done and sorted. So,
But can I
but
just
I was very
say,
lonely. Yeah.
the loneliness
Oh,
and the
that's a killer.
stonewalling and the not communicating when you're a communicator
Mm.
is, I have read, a form of abuse.
Yes,
The
I believe it is.
silence and stonewalling, especially if you're a chatty catty like me. There's a movie called The Silence of Others. It's a German film,
Mm.
and it's set in like, I think it's the 70s, or no, it's the 80s Germany, just before the wall comes down, and it's the Stasi, the secret police in East Germany, and they say how to torture artists. And you know how they torture artists?
What?
Silence and no materials
That would
to
be
communicate.
bad
And I'd
for
rather,
you.
literally, and I remember watching that saying, I'd rather be beaten up every day because at least someone's touching me and I'd have some kind of communication. I could scream. I'd be like, you're hurting me, it's drama. I'd rather be having the shit kicked out of me every day than silence and not being able to communicate.
It's interesting because I think partially it's control. You know, if you
Yeah.
stonewall someone and you ignore someone, you don't communicate with someone, there is a lot of power in saying no. And if you're the person who's beating on the door, who's going, "Oh my God," and
Please.
I'm a lot more calm and patient since the divorce. That's really given another gift it's given me. But if I'm going, "Hey, speak to me, hang out with me, I want to see you," like, why aren't we? And I'm getting all fiery. You're the person that's in societally the wrong. They weren't even doing anything.
It's called
They were
reactive
just sitting. They
abuse.
weren't doing anything.
It's
Now,
called reactive
but
abuse for anyone who wants to know.
but with that, I would say there's a flip side of self-preservation, because if you're someone who just can't handle that noise, who just can't handle that energy, that isn't that doesn't function in that mental or emotional space, as I think my ex-husband is, you know, it's also self-preservation to remove.
Yeah.
Like, I
Yeah.
can't handle it. My mind can't handle this.
There's a
so I remove.
shutdown.
So I think it's a complex thing. You can't just say someone's well, you can say it, but they can't just say someone's just a blanket dickhead. I think that it's also the idea of, it was probably partially control. It was probably partially self-preservation. It was probably partially not really knowing how to fix that
Yeah, there's so
solution.
much
Like,
Yeah.
grey.
it was a big grey area, but what it did show was that we were total opposites in how we function in life and how we deal with when things go wrong. When things go wrong, when the world goes into lockdown, when the world goes into lockdown, when you've lost all your income, when, you know, you've got like this mortgage, when you've got a child that has
It's end
needs,
of the world stuff.
what do? I go into, right, I'll fix it. Almost sort of a steamroller kind of, I will fix it, I will get it done. And other people might go into, I will bury my head in the sand, I will shut myself up in the loft, I won't look at you, I won't talk to you, I will just ignore this. And so that was, you can't build on that. There's no
There's
foundation.
nothing.
Was there a turning point, like a
Sorry.
pivotal moment when you
Would you
thought?
pick that up again? Because I coughed over you. Sorry.
Was there a pivotal moment during this period where you thought, right, it's wine time?
Right, every day. Every day did I think it's wine time. I credit wine for really helping me through it, because you meet a great community of people with wine. I will say this for wine. You know, a beer, you have a pint of it solo or a can of it. A cocktail is again a solo drink, but wine is bottled for groups. It's, you know, 5-6 glasses in that bottle. It's
It's
made for
community.
sharing, it's community. And so when you are with a bunch of wine people, and I started doing wine tastings online, and you met all these, and I built up my Instagram. I went in very slowly, sort of like just trying to talk about wine. I'm learning about wine, anyone else? And now my Instagram is prolific, and it's how people find me.
I've got to introduce you to my friend's husband,
Oh.
who is a big wine guy in Cornwall, called Carl. Sorry, because it is
All right, Carl.
All right,
in
Carl.
Cornwall.
We love Carl, but he's a famous wine guy, and it is a beautiful community.
It is and you'll find that with wine people, you have some good wine, and you stop it because you want to share it with someone else. It's not their
Oh.
sensation of, this is really good, I'll have it all, which I might do with a martini, but it's that sharing thing. So I think there was a community. They took me in, if you like. I built my own identity in a way that shifted from theatre into this sort of community of food and drink and conviviality, which is also all stuff.
And
I
you
love.
could do it in your bedroom in
Yeah.
lockdown.
I mean,
Exactly.
that's what I find so extraordinary, is that you've really broken the mold in terms of, from the sidelines, the wine industry seems quite intimidating. And as a woman going through a massive midlife change and a career pivot, how did you find entering into this world that one would typically think is quite intimidating? You've
I
made it so
mm.
accessible. You've made it kind of funny and cool, and
how are you
any
not an alcoholic? Like,
yeah.
I would have just taken the wine and gone to bed and
Well,
just become an alcoholic.
just rock
But you
yourself.
made it beautiful. Like, what's
Yeah.
that about?
I
Like,
there's a lot.
I'm
There's a
being
lot in that. There's a
serious.
lot in that. Okay,
There's a lot
so
of alkies,
there's a lot in
even
that.
like in bed, just like
Well,
being
firstly, I
miserable.
probably drink less now I'm in wine
Oh,
than
'cause
I did
you
before.
savor it.
Because firstly, I savor it. I'm probably drinking better quality stuff. I'm not drinking spirits or whatever is free or whatever ever cheapest because I'm sent a lot of lovely wine for my work,
I
and therefore
like
I can have a
gin.
beautiful bottle of wine.
I like
Or
gin.
I'm not against gin. I like a gin martini, and also I think it's you can't get pissed at work. People won't employ me
Yes.
again. I'm a host, I'm a judge,
Oh,
I'm a
yeah.
presenter. I'm like, if I'm wasted with a bunch of clients, they're probably not going to employ me again. And fundamentally, as much as it's a passion, this is a job, which kind of relates to your question about entering the wine place. So I am not necessarily a very easily intimidated person.
Yeah, not coming from theatre world.
I like myself a lot. I'm quite confident in myself. I like people a lot. I sort of
Yeah.
go into every space assuming they're going to like me. This is not always the case, as it turns out. So wine was very there is that sort of saying pale, male and stale. When I first started going out in press, I was often the only woman at a press lunch. That is not the case now. I'd say even in the brief time I've been there, it's really caught up. It's still pretty pale, but there is a mixture of men and women. But I do remember, I think the first time it happened to me, a photograph was taken of me and it was put on Twitter. I think it wasn't even X at that point.
Did they come for you?
And there were comments from men about me not knowing my job and how
Well,
and
like
posing
what were
in
they
vineyards
saying?
and I just sort of was.
Derogatory.
I mean, I can't.
Filth?
People didn't like. No, nothing. Sadly, nothing filthy. Just
Some
sort
of
of,
my
just sort of
Hinge love.
slagging me.
My Hinge, my
And
Bumble. I can show you some things.
I cried, and it was the first and last time I think I cried. I cried
Because people
about
were being mean
it,
about you.
and it was colleagues. It was men in wine,
Because they're jealous.
and I thought, and I cried, and there was a real moment where I thought, should I just not do this? And I thought, well, no, I'm not doing this as a hobby. I'm doing this to feed my son.
Yeah.
I'm doing this to keep a house, like a roof over head. They think that and I was in an attitude of, who's this silly little girl, coming in and posing about with wine bottles
and doing a better job than
like,
us.
and who is she? Who does she think she is? And I can understand that because some of these guys have been writing for 20 years.
But you're boring.
I've been there for two months and I've got a newspaper column. I can understand the human aspect of
No,
that.
just be better.
And you're a columnist for City AM.
City AM, and I write for anyone else who pays. I'm a columnist for City AM. I write for anyone else who pays me. So Condé Nast, Independent,
Yay!
Cosmopolitan, Telegraph. I've written for a bunch of people, and I do obviously the presenting and socials and all this.
Do you
sort
have
of
a
stuff.
podcast?
I don't have a podcast.
Could we just get that going?
I come in at 5 minutes. Everyone who talks, I'm like, and I would pair your divorce with this wine.
That's what we
I
need.
think.
However, we
Well-
might not follow that don't get drunk on the job rule.
We'll do it at the
Literally.
end. We'll do it at the end. As the credits roll,
Can
you're
I
gonna
just
get
say,
everyone.
in our mind, it's not in our mind, it's going to happen, Buzzy. We're going to have live events. Could you come and be our
Wino.
Sommelier.
Professional.
Sommelier. Would you like when we
wine
do live
experts.
events? Will you come and like we just all get like? Because for me it's
Definitely.
rosé all day, but like you can maybe
I can
introduce
get you some
other
great rosés.
rosé all day.
And it's
Don't you
rosé is
think?
an all year round beverage, not just for summer.
Yes, my
you.
mum's very keen on a bottle of rosé at Christmas.
I
Well,
think it's
smoked salmon,
lovely.
perfect. You'll smoked salmon canapés, rosé. You get that sparkling rosé, or you get like a really juicy Grenache Spanish rosé for your turkey. You get that dry burn, you got the juicy rosé.
You are good at your job.
I mean, are you salivating already? You're thinking of that juicy rosé.
I love it. You know what? Before, my ex-husband never drank, and so
Can see him
I
divorced.
didn't drink because he didn't drink, so I didn't.
Does he drink now?
No.
Oh, he still doesn't drink.
He still doesn't drink. But now I was like, God, I was so programmed. And I was like, now I'm like, popping bottles, motherfucker. And I'm like, why did I just stop? So I'm having a really nice time. And you do discover yourself and the things that you like and what you don't like.
Yes.
That's a huge part of post-divorce discovery.
Yes.
What do I like based on me? Not because my partner did something. Did your
Yeah.
partner drink? Was he a big drinker? Was that
Well,
part of your
weirdly,
lifestyle?
and this may be here. We did like a drink, and when I passed and qualified my level 2, I said I've passed, and he went, "I'm deciding I'm going to give up alcohol," and it was just, and I was
Wow.
another like,
It was to piss you
well,
off.
no, I don't think it
in
was
my
just
opinion.
another distance. It was another wall, and
Yeah, it was that was
My ex-husband was really keen on when I gave up alcohol and got really into yoga and healthy eating and all of that kind of stuff.
when
and
was that in the marriage?
towards the end, the last
Yeah, when you
like
start
3
to love
years,
yourself.
and he was like, "Oh, I think that you're really boring now." And the irony is that he ran off with somebody who he is paying to become a yoga teacher.
Oh, that's interesting.
I haven't done yoga since.
That's an interesting choice.
I'm trying to be polite, but like it's just the irony.
I know, we might have to delete that.
No, we keep
It's
it
like
in.
just segue away
The
from that.
irony. But
But
it is, yes.
But I think I think that in divorce it's so easy to focus on the other person because obviously it's
They're
so
wrong.
frustrating.
Sorry.
And I'm not removing anyone's frustration, fear, pain, worry surrounding divorce. I just think that it's such a great thing that we have that because otherwise we could be still in these marriages
Yeah.
which didn't benefit us or our kids or the people around us,
No,
and
no.
actually the ability that our society allows us to leave, allows us to part ways, hopefully amicably, but not always, is actually a wonderful thing. And I think, and that's something I really would love to sort of express more, that with that, everything dissolving in my life, one of the best things that I learned from that period of my life, and also that comes with the divorce, is that I was not the narrative I had told myself. I was
Yeah.
not, my life could change, was going to change, was changing. And I had the absolute power to own that and change it the way I wanted it to be. And a lot of and I do think this is quite interesting that when you do divorce, you think everyone's marriages are doing quite well. And when you do divorce, suddenly all your friends come out of the woodwork and go,
Yes.
"Can I just tell you about this?" And you find out all these
All
things are
the
going on
dirt.
behind the
Do you know
scenes.
that is a theme that every guest that we've had, I think, has said that
Mm.
that suddenly you
You start an
think it's
avalanche.
brilliant, but actually scratch the surface or poke your head above the parapet and say,
Mm.
"My life's shit." Suddenly, everyone else is as well.
Telling yourself, and people can choose to leave and people can choose to stay, and I'm not making any judgment on what people choose and why, but the point is that if you are scared that if you do this thing, if you leave or if you get a divorce, your life isn't going to look like you hoped it or you wanted to be the happily married couple for decades, but your life already doesn't look that way. Your life already is not that happy couple that you had in your head. So you have the ability to change it now, either working on the marriage. I'm not an advocate for leave as soon as something goes wrong.
Yeah,
They don't
I'm
say
like,
the
you're a
dishwasher, off I
grafter.
go.
You're a grafter.
But I'm like, try. But if it is an impossible or an untenable situation,
Bounce.
then know that you can change your narrative, that you are still you, that you giving up the trappings of your life, that career that didn't work out, that marriage that folded, does not change it changes how you react to the world and how you feel about yourself, but you are still you. You're just a different version of you, and we keep aging and growing and adapting over the decades, and that is just true for all of us, and the alternative is death, so it's the better alternative.
Yeah.
So we'll just keep going and know that it will be all right. You will come past that and you will evolve into something stronger and more authentically yourself.
Can I
It's
ask
so
you?
true. Such
Yeah.
wise words, and hopefully most people can have a bottle of wine next to them.
And do it with wine.
Do it with wine. Can I ask you? Everyone has a point where they're like, I need to get out.
Mm.
It can't be saved. I know it's done, and it's the dismantling, which is really difficult.
Yeah.
When for me that was 2021, but I left in 2023. So I call that, I literally should have a tattoo 2021 and look at it anytime I feel I need to bounce. Just go now. I should have gone in 2021. But it took me 2 years to kind of like leave. What was that time for you? Did you have a 2021 moment?
I did have a moment that I had a big shock moment that happened in 2021, right at the end.
And you'd started your new career at this point?
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
So I was in wine, but not as successful as I am right now, but I was working a lot. And then 1st of January, it was quite amicable at the beginning. I said, like,
2021.
2022, the 1st of January, I left and it was quite amicable and I moved out and
You moved out.
Yeah,
Did you leave the baby with him?
we kept son in
Nesting.
the house and we did the back and
It's
forth
called
thing with it.
nesting. Which
Yeah, so the kids always stayed in the house.
yeah, and then you do the shuffle.
But unfortunately, a few months later, it became very obvious that things were not going to change for the better. And I remember going away for a friend's wedding, and she didn't invite him because she wasn't his biggest fan. It was just a weekend away, but it's like that first weekend you get away from them and away from being a mom.
Your
and
life.
You're like, oh. And I was with all these people I didn't know,
Yeah.
and people kept saying to me, oh my gosh, you've got such a light about you. Oh my gosh, you're so funny. Like, oh, come and sit with us. And I thought, these people really want to spend time with me. And actually, like, for whatever reason, I'm not putting any big judgment on him here, but for whatever reason, for years, my husband had not
You didn't
wanted to
feel
hang out with
likable. You
me.
didn't feel
And
like
he, no,
anyone
and
desired
I
you.
remember him, I said, oh, I remember saying, I made these people really laugh. Like, I haven't seen you laugh for ages. And him going, you're not very funny. And me going, oh, I thought I
Yeah.
was. And like, and it's, now, obviously, I did not amuse him. I'm not saying he was saying that to be horrible, but it was like, I went away with these people and I realized, this is who I want to be. This is how I love myself. And there must be a way to do this, I hoped, amicably, because we both loved our son so much. And I think that's an important thing that can keep you really reframing when you want to just explode, we actually go, for the good of the son, for the good of our child, we will keep this as amicable, as calm as possible. But that for me was July 2022. We properly broke up, but we still lived together till October
That's
the
so
1st.
painful.
That's hard.
Yeah. Well, actually, it didn't really make any difference
Because it was like
we hadn't lived together anyway.
Yeah.
It was no difference.
We had separate bedrooms. Our son knew us as having separate bedrooms. We didn't eat meals together. So
Oh.
actually, it was kind of weirdly just the same, which actually made me even more certain that I had to leave, because I was like, wow, we've actually broken up and nothing has changed in our relationship.
Yeah, it's been like this for years.
So yeah, it was sort of.
And I like, what's the, because I think a lot of people get scared. Sorry, Bugsy, to jump in, but like, what is the business of breaking up is expensive? Did you sell the house? Was there maintenance? Like, how did you, like,
No.
childcare? Was he working? Did he support you? Like, what was this is what gets people's knickers in a twist of like, I
And
can't see a way forward.
yes, and certainly with the whole career pivot, like it feels like you did everything all in one go. And I think a lot of people might feel really inspired by that, because it is scary. You think, oh God, I'll get the end of my marriage done, and then I'll think about
No, you did it all at the
reinventing,
same
and then I'll think
yeah.
about, and
It
how on
was a
earth am I going to live?
clean
And
sweep. I just burn everything to the ground.
I'm like that.
So one week I ran out of money for food, and I had to sell my son's wardrobe, like the wooden wardrobe from his room, for cash in hand to get the food that week. And I didn't put the heating on for 2 years. Now my son had a little portable heater in his room, so his room was always nice and warm, and he never went for anything. Like he never lacked. But the clothes were wonderful friends and neighbours who did hand me downs. I ate a lot at work, because a lot of work is wine lunches and stuff. So we'd have no food in the house apart from when my son was coming, like the weeks, and then we'd have his food. But I remember when I was hitting the dating scene, the guys
like,
couldn't
dinner.
believe.
Feed me.
They couldn't believe how cold my house was. They were like, "Oh my God, it's freezing!" And I'd have like blankets and duvets and be wearing jumpers
You
to
just
sleep
get
in.
it done.
And they were like, they were freezing. And my lovely current partner, when he came around, he couldn't believe how cold the house was, and that there was no food in the house. He's like, "Where's your food? I'm so hungry." Like, he's a big 6'4" guy. He's like, "Where's your food?" And it took me, maybe I'm not that proud. I'm quite proud. It took me about 3 months in to tell him, like, it's actually, I can't afford that right now. Like,
But you can go Ocado.
but if you want to buy it's
I
like
love
enough
you.
of,
No.
guys, don't take me out for dates, because I get that through my work.
Literally.
Buy me groceries.
Buy me
Like,
groceries.
like-
If my love language is Ocado coming round
Yes,
and my
like,
cupboard's being filled.
I've got loads of wine. You bring the food.
Yeah, who needs food?
I can just listen.
Liquid
Thank
lunch.
you so much for saying that, because I can't tell you how
Real. It's the reality, isn't it?
real, how scary. I had a wobble last night because new school fees came in. I know that it's all on me. My ex-husband does pay, but then if there's an issue, then I know I'm going to be the one to sweep it all up. It's hard, and there's no safety net. I don't have anyone and if something happens to my mom, I'm the one who's gonna, like, it's all on me all the time. And it's scary and it's hard, and thank goodness I can work, thank goodness I can graft, but it is really scary.
Yeah.
And it's like, and there's no safety net. No one's coming to help you.
Yeah.
No, yeah, and you've got you have a dependent. I've got 2 little girls who need me. I can't get sick. I can't die. It's like, literally,
I do have those fears.
Yeah.
If I die, what will happen? Like, oof.
literally.
No,
Well,
it's
that
sort of,
can't
yeah.
happen.
No, it's just not going to manifest. Live forever.
You know what Henry Horton said to me? He's like, because I said I've got no safety net, and it's really, Henry Horton's my lovely man friend who's not a boyfriend. # this is not a hard launch. We are just platonic friends. My first grown-up male friend. He said, "It's time, Ate." I said, "I've got no safety net. It's really scary." He goes, "It's time. Get your tits and your feet out for OnlyFans." And I was like, "Eddie!" That's That's very kind of you to say. But
I'm
no, Henry, not yet.
really glad
I'm not
that
there.
Yeah.
you
Not
don't
yet.
take
I
his
think
advice.
I think I would burn it the fuck down. I'm not
Well,
gonna lie, but I am too shy still.
I got some offers of like work, sort of not actually physically doing
Hashtag
anything with it,
OnlyFans.
but similar stuff.
How much are we
And I
talking?
was like thousands.
Oh, fuck it, do it.
And
Give them my number,
I
babe.
honestly did, because it was quite as I
How
said, like it
much?
was quite
And for what?
it was okay.
Listen,
I
there's no
didn't do it. I
shade
just
here.
said, well, basically, I didn't do it because I really thought long and hard about it, because it wasn't actually meeting anyone. It wasn't actually doing
Was it
anything.
just getting your boobs out?
It was just sort of talking dirty.
Oh, I
on
can
a
do that all
camera.
day long.
And
I'm
and
gifted.
they were like, I
Great
love
at
your
that. Give her the
voice.
number.
Why don't you just
Give me the number.
And it was thousands, and I really went back and forth about doing it. And then I just
Was
thought,
it a random man,
but
or was
then
it like an agency?
no, it was like an agency. And
Well,
I thought,
you've got a beautiful voice, though.
and I thank you. And apparently I can speak filthy very easily. But
But
I just thought if my son ever found
can.
it, if his school friends ever found it, it would be decimating. And I didn't in the end. But I can understand very much why people are drawn to that sort of like easy money.
and I
I don't have any shame about that. Like sex work or whatever you do, if it comes from power, if it comes from a choice,
Yeah.
you knock yourself out. I'm just a bit shy, reputational damage. I
Really?
mean,
You're a bit shy.
I'm a bit-
Is that I thought we were talking truth on this podcast.
Who?
I do. I mean, you know, my good friend Laura Hinton was like, "Burner phone, bitch." Like literally, there is filth out there. But
Yeah.
like, because I'm a very good sexter. And in the beginning of my marriage, I was just so bored, and I was, you know,
Right.
I've got ADHD, so I'm like, who do you want me to be? So it's actually really good, the masking.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, I want to do something on it, like ADHD and dating and like being
Yes.
performative and being fetishized as a black woman, and there's like so much nonsense going on, and I'd literally be doing the washing and just be like talking dirty to some random, just like because I was bored of an evening, and I was just
Wow.
like. And it was just like, but actually that's really boring now. And then it was just it's very, very interesting. And I was with my first husband. I was with him from 19, so I never dated. 19 to
Wow.
45. I married my first boyfriend, the first person who I ever had sex with. So I have no idea what I'm into, whatever.
So
I
you
was
want
just,
to explore.
I was just
Have
like,
you ever gone on field?
that I feel too racy. Field is, I've been told about it. Have you been on field?
I have been on field.
I mean, I am. This is the thing. I've got a big mouth and I talk a lot of game, but I am actually quite.
I think they like that.
I think that's pension sorted. No, I think I'm a real weirdo mix of like I can be like rah, 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 but actually I'm like, can we talk about medieval history and look at Lord of the Rings? I'm really nervy.
They also might like that.
I know. There's something for every, as my mum says, there's every pot has a lid. But I don't know. I'm not that racy. My
Okay.
body count's very low.
Okay.
But
No comment.
we're going on field. Fuck it.
I don't even know what
Do it
field
for the
is.
plot twist. Did you have a nice time on field? Can we talk about dating?
We can talk about dating. Yes.
Field is just Buzzy doesn't know what field is, do you?
Oh,
No.
okay. It's a bit like a dating app or site, except it's not a dating.
Sex.
Right.
So you
And
say
Grindr.
I want a threesome
Or
with
I'm really into bondage, or it's something like that. And people come, and then yeah. So basically, you're meant to meet people. And what this came from was because I was in my 40s when we broke up, or just turned 40, something like that. And pretty much every man that approached me in a bar, like in real
was
life,
gross.
was married.
Oh yes.
Everyone was married. Everyone was
that's the
married.
case.
I couldn't. It was really
Gross.
amazing because when I'd been married, I had no idea that so many married people
Cheat.
would do. It was genuinely shocking.
It's quite shocking.
Like, you know, people with rings, people who didn't have rings, but then I had this one guy, he came up to me, I was in the Groucho doing some work, so daytime, and he wrote his number on the notebook, and we were messaging back and forth because he had to go to America for work, and then he sent me going, oh, I get the impression that transparency is really important to you, so would you mind if I was in a relationship? And I went, well, what kind of relationship? Is it an open relationship? Do they know?
Yeah.
Oh, no, he's married with 3 kids and she can never find out. And that happened so many times. So I didn't do anything, by the way, with any of these
Yeah.
people. I have
Bad karma.
I absolutely, after my marriage where no one sort of really wanted to touch me or be near me, I absolutely had a craving for that physical touch and intimacy.
Yes.
But in no way did I want to do it with anyone would hurt anyone else.
Yeah.
I can't. I hate lying. Is probably my big. I can't bear it. I don't lie. I hate people who do lie.
Yeah.
Lying is bad. I'd rather you totally fucked up and told me about it, and we could have a
Yes.
fight with. But lying is
Honesty.
useless. Useless points.
And Field is very honest. Like,
so
I want
so
hot
a
sex,
friend
give it
told
to me.
Like a friend said, "Have you tried Field?" And so I did. But the only
We should get Field
but
on here to sponsor us.
Literally.
it didn't work.
What do you mean? Didn't
What
work?
happened?
Because I met with, I
You
think,
fall in
2
love?
people. They immediately wanted a relationship.
Oh
And
God,
I was
you
like,
broke
no,
Field.
I was like, this is not the point.
I want to be a hot,
I was like,
sexy little
I would,
minx.
and they wouldn't like. They
Oh.
actually wouldn't do the thing that the Field was meant because they.
What
and they
did
was
they-
like
what did you
sending
ask
me
for? Can I ask?
sweet. Oh no, just like hi. I'd like no strings. Are you married? No. Are you in a relationship? No. Great. Should
Come
we
round
meet
and
up? And
yeah,
like,
come round and
and
let's go for it.
and they all wanted to meet for drinks and meals and stuff first, and then they were just like, I
Oh,
really
nice
like
people.
you.
Thank
Can
you.
we? And like sending me pictures of like their daughter, or so afterwards like, oh, this is my baby girl. I'm like, I don't
Why
need to
do
know.
I get
I don't
dick
want to know
pics?
that.
Why do
You
I go
need-
on Bumble looking for a relationship and I get the dick pics and
No,
I get
I went on
the gross,
Fields
and you go on Field and you get men who want to go date you and be romantic.
It was not what I signed up for. I did find a wonderful. He's gonna get so sick of me talking about him.
What's he called?
A wonderful love. Not my partner.
Yeah.
My partner is amazing, and I adore him. My wonderful man Ian, who's so good with my son.
Did you meet him on
and-
Field?
No, I certainly did not. I met him because we met on Hinge, but because he listened to another podcast I was on with Joe Marler. So the
Oh, I
rugby
love
player.
Joe Marler.
So I was on Joe's podcast,
Oh, I
and
fancy him.
Ian.
Is he married
listened,
though? I can't.
He is.
No,
is
so
with
there's
kids, so
eyes
no.
down.
He's married.
Apologies.
But he's
So-
really into wine, isn't he?
Yeah, so I went on his podcast to teach him about what I would like talk about wine,
Oh.
and then my lovely boyfriend Ian, he adores wine and rugby, and thought he'd found like the ideal woman.
You are his dream
Little
woman.
did he know I don't actually know anything about rugby.
I
But
like
I have
rugby.
filmed a series with Andrew Sheridan, and I've made a YouTube channel with another ex-professional rugby player, Robin Boot.
Could you please
and I was-
introduce me some?
So I was like,
rugby players?
yeah, rugby players. I know.
Rugby boys are nice.
They
They're
are
they're
actually.
gentlemen,
Do you know what they are? Actually, they're more sensitive than you think,
and
they
they're
like
not
their
spoiled.
wine. They all
And
like
they're
their
not
wine.
spoilt because
No.
they don't get.
They're doers.
They're doers
Mm.
and they get paid well, but they don't get city money.
I'm a big fan of the rugby players.
I would
out
like to
there,
be a
but
big
I should
fan
know
of
more
them.
about rugby. But yeah, that's how I met. But before him, I had a wonderful lover who I very much we put down the boundaries, and I met him again at the Groucho. Not that I just shark there for men, but I was working and it was during the day again, and he sat down opposite, and I was like, and I just leant over because I was at this point nothing had worked, and I leant over and I went, "Hi, I'm Libby. I'm looking to have sex with someone who doesn't have a wife or a girlfriend."
You said that to
That was
him.
my opening line.
I love you.
And he just went, and she went, "Hey."
I'm your guy.
I'm your guy. And so we had
Was
a
he hot?
yeah, and we had a really lovely time for like 10 months.
Oh,
But
that's a relationship, my love.
yeah, but
Mm.
never made it. No, we cared about each. It was the perfect thing actually, because it wasn't just a. I'm actually not very good at apparently at having one-offs because they don't happen for me. But it was caring and respectful and consensual. But there was no further.
Was it romantic, or he just come around and give you
No,
good thing
no,
to?
no.
and then you'd
Well,
leave.
I mean, my boyfriend's probably going to listen to this. So
Sorry,
I'm
yeah.
not going to go. But no, it was just what I needed at that
For-
point to feel truly cared for
In your
and
body,
sexual,
lovely.
and that was part of the reinvention, to come back into
Yeah.
myself in that way. And he was very nice, and friends and my family met him briefly and people liked him and stuff, but it didn't move into the
How did
relationship
it
sphere.
end?
Oh,
I bet you broke his heart.
no.
What
I would,
happened?
I don't think I broke his heart. I think it was never going to develop into something more than that. So we
Wow.
both stepped away.
Do you
Wow.
think that that where you are now, it was written in the stars? This is who this was always meant to be. This is
Because you are glowing.
I
Yeah,
can't, but
and
it's
y-
quite
I
warm in
mean-
here, to be fair.
No,
That's
No,
the
but your
wine.
energy is so
Um,
wonderful.
But do you think that the Libby of 20 years ago would have sat in a bar and said, "Hi, I want to have sex with you"?
I mean, she probably would have, but she'd been about 3 bottles in. So I think I don't. It is amazing to me that my life has not worked out as I thought it would, but it's come out so much better. So
Yeah.
I worked for years and years and years on my theatre career, and it was doing really well, but actually not as successful as my wine. My wine career in 4 years is probably booming more than my theatre career was in 15. You know, I was just named
Life is
in the
weird.
top 20 of the top 100 most influential in drink this year.
Yeah.
Like, and that's
Congratulations.
been 4 years in, and I mean, and that's voted by industry. So the same people who originally were like, "Who the hell do you think you are?" are now voting me on that list. So
Mm.
that's because I worked really hard to prove that I wasn't just in here as a hobbyist. and I get my deadlines done, and I work really hard and all that sort of stuff. But actually, my career's flourishing. I'm in a relationship with a person that is so me. Ian is.
How did you meet him?
So this was the Hinge
Oh,
guy who
Hinge.
listened to the podcast. But I've always been drawn to quiet guys in the corner because I thought I needed a balance. I thought it's like I'm big and effervescent and loud, so I need
Yeah.
these quiet guys to stabilize me. I don't.
No.
I need someone who will
Match your
match me.
freak.
Will
Mm.
match me. And so
That's what
we
you need.
we
do.
dance all the time. We've had strangers video us. In fact, we came back recently from holiday. Someone came up to the airport and was like, "Hi, I filmed you dancing in the bar the other night. Would you like it?" And like sent me the video. And that's not the first time that that's happened. So
Is he
we
extroverted or
very. I'm the wallflower in our relationship.
I love that.
He's
for
center
you.
of the room.
Wow.
He's fun. He's intelligent. Do you know what the sexiest thing he ever said to me quite early on? I was like, he said something like, what was it? He said, let me take care of that for you. And then he
I
did.
got you.
And then he did it.
That's
And then
sexy.
there was no chasing up. There was no, he's a planner. He's a doer. He's fun. He's thoughtful. He's kind. And I was like, oh, what I needed was someone who actually
Consistent.
liked the same things as me.
Yeah.
Not a balance, actually. I don't need the
Meets you.
I needed someone who wants to go out drinking. I needed someone who wants to dance. I needed someone who wants to have a dinner party around our house
A
and like
play
people.
friend. I'd like a play friend.
Yeah, and so he's moved in now,
Aw.
and he gets on so well with my son. And
How
that's
is that? Because
important.
dating with children is so different. It's like
Very
who
hard.
you bring around your children is very important.
Yeah.
And you have a boy child and you
Mhm.
want to have a good role model. How was that? Were you quite nervous about that?
I didn't. So Bowen did not meet anyone in my
What's your
life
son called?
until Bowen.
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 Love that
So
name.
yeah, Bo or Bowie, but Bowen at the moment. And I didn't introduce him to anyone, including the lover.
The lover.
But with Ian, I think it was about 6 months in, and there was an opportunity for them to meet. And we went for this long walk, and I said, if you don't see a future here, I'm fine not introducing. We can carry on doing
Yeah.
what we're doing, but
But
if I
you're not
bring my
meeting my
son
kid.
involved, that's a statement for me. And I really want you to think I will not be offended if you go, I'm not there yet. I won't be offended, but I'd rather than risk anything with my child because then I will never fucking forgive you for hurting my child. And he was like, I'm there. And we met and they get on so well. I will say my son had a very definite way of making his mark, should we say, when Ian moved in. So he was very excited about
So
him
you live
moving in.
together?
Yeah, he moved in recently, only a couple months ago.
First
And
Christmas?
we sort of prepared the children for ages, and
Does he have kids?
He has 2 kids, 20-year-old and a 21-year-old, so very
grown.
big age gap.
Grown.
Yeah, grown kids.
Do they like you?
I don't know. I really hope so.
I think you'd know if they didn't.
I think
Girls
it's
or boys?
it's one girl and one boy, and I think it's a difficult thing because at that age you're not coming in as their parent. I can't
No.
parent them. I can't like
No.
tell them what to do. Or I mean, I can hopefully be someone they might turn to for advice in the future, but you can't.
Yeah.
But also, you're not their friend, and
No.
because I'm still 20 years older than them, and I think I've made that mistake early on where I tried to be buddy and
Hey,
jokey
I'm
and
your
I'm your friend.
No.
No. And also I think I come out as maybe sort of like a jolly aunt. You're just like, hello kids, let's hang out. I've got wine. And you just don't. It's quite hard to pitch where the sensitivities are. Where like it's hard to pitch where the sensitivities are. It's hard to pitch what your role is for them.
Do they have a mum around?
Yeah, they do. And
do they live with you?
Well, they have rooms, but they're 2021. So his son's at university. His daughter's about to go traveling, but
They have space
keys.
in your house.
They have keys. They have rooms. They
Oh,
have.
you're a good stepmama.
They have a wine. They have a wine fridge. I'm like, these are the ones you can have. Please don't touch. Please don't touch these.
You've made space in your life for these kids.
Well, that's very important for me and Ian. Our families are priority.
You're blended. You're a proper blended family.
Hey, it is a work in progress.
Yeah,
it always is. It always is.
It's a work in progress. I hope so. I love.
How old is your son now?
He's 6.
Yeah.
And so, but he did do this one thing where when Ian moved in, we repainted the bedroom. We actually had to because of some water damage, but we got the bedroom repainted and we had to take everything off the walls. So the pictures and everything off the walls, repainting. And it cost a few £100 to paint a wall these days. Like, what the heck? It's been a while since I did some decoration, but whoa. And it was all done on Thursday. And on Friday, I come into the bedroom and Bowen has climbed up to the top shelf. He has got his indelible ink stamp from his school clothing name stamp, and he has stamped his name across the walls and the wood, the newly painted. And I went, oh. Anyway, so we took a little time to talk, because he's not a destructive kid. He's never done anything
That's
vandalistic
ownership.
before. And I said
That's
to
a
him,
therapy session waiting to
well,
happen.
he did manage to describe it, and basically there was no Bowen in that room anymore
Yeah.
because we'd taken off the pictures, and it hadn't even occurred to me to
Yeah.
explain to him
It's
we'd
really
taken
very
the
good
pictures
sign.
off.
He's got a very.
Mm.
You're doing a beautiful job as a mother. He's got such a strong sense of ego, and he's like, "This is where I am, and I'm gonna be
Mm.
here." I think that's a really good
And he's
sign.
putting his name, he's
was
literally
very
stamping his
direct.
name on it.
It was
It's like,
I
I'm
like the
here.
correlation. I
Boom.
feel this,
I like
and this is what I'm going to do.
that.
He's
I
a
think
doer.
Yeah.
Like, he's a doer.
I'm happy for the kid. I think that's a very positive
Yeah.
sign.
Well, it was really well explained to me. I was like, I should have explained to him when I took his pictures. If it wasn't Ian's moved in and we've whitewashed you,
Yeah.
it's Ian's
And
moved
he
in.
wasn't going to accept it anyway.
And that was not going to happen. So I thought that was actually really
Healthy.
interesting and will make a funny anecdote in the future.
I
think.
think you should
Yes.
also have a picture, take a photo of Ian, him, your son,
Mm.
and you, and put it in the bedroom.
Oh,
That would
yeah.
be a really nice thing, like a
Yeah.
massive picture of like a picture of
Huge-
three of
Get a
you.
mural on the wall.
Mural of you.
Terrifying
Literally,
giant faces.
but that's it's like saying bring him in.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're part.
You're
we
part-
are.
yeah.
We are.
We
are the
You're
family.
part of the. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
very difficult, isn't it?
So, we're going to have to wrap up in a minute, but tell us what's next.
Gosh. Well, I was just on, so work is flying at the moment, and that's brilliant. I was just on Alan Carr's podcast, and that's going to come out.
I
on-
love him.
I know, he
I
was
met him.
super
He's
lovely.
so sweet.
Oh my gosh, he's such a lovely energy. So Alan Carr and Lee Pert, and they are the podcast Bottoms Up, and that's coming out on Christmas Eve, and hopefully they'll have me back.
You'll be a
For
regular. I
more
can
of them
feel
in
it.
the future. So that's exciting for me. I'm doing a lot more work on divorce because now it's happened. I didn't realize how many people kind of want to talk about it and
It's a big
in a
deal.
positive
Mm.
way, and maybe some more on sort of co-parenting and navigating that and the
Yeah.
blended family stuff. Because although I love wine and my job, I love people and connection. So I think that's quite an important thing to talk about, that empowerment of all these life choices we're making, particularly as women, but everyone involved. So that's sort of that work, and then bring on Christmas, quite frankly, for me right now. Christmas, New Year, 2026. Let's see where it goes.
Well, I mean, all I can say is thank you so much for coming on. It has been an incredible journey listening to you, and
Thank you.
I feel really inspired. I mean, your honesty certainly about like the food and selling your son's wardrobe,
Yeah.
and like how, like I said at the beginning, how effervescent you are. You just ooze self-confidence. And I'm going to take all of that and try and channel that into some of my life. But I really hope that we can have you back on.
Yeah,
You can
I
tell us,
know.
that.
you
Come
know,
back as a guest as a live event, our Netflix show. I
Maybe
feel
we
this is the
can hear how
beginning.
Field went.
Yes.
I got tied up, you all.
And when we do the Big D book, I think we should have a whole chapter on
Yes.
how to drink yourself through it in a safe and
Yes,
sensible way.
In a safe way. Drink
And
with
just have a
moderation.
rosé section for
Yeah.
me. Gin and rosé all day. Libby, thank you so much for coming on and for
Thank
being a friend of
you.
the Big D. Thank you very much.
Thank
Big fan of Big
you.
D. Thank you so much, guys.
We all are. Thank you so much for joining us on The Big D with Atty and Buzzy. We've had Libby here today talking about her wine, reinvention, and a flambe phoenix from the flame. Thank you so much for listening. If you like The Big D, please rate us wherever you listen to your podcast. Follow us, subscribe, and we will have more next week. Thank you.
Bye.